Welcoming all our viewers to International Affairs here on SATV's Gulshan Studio. I welcome everyone onto the program. There is so much to discuss on today's episode, but before I do so, let me introduce all my panelists. Here in the studio, I have Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain, who is a Supreme Court jurist as well as a politician. I welcome you on to the program. Alongside, I will have Norman Floyd Barnes joining us from Washington District of Columbia in the United States of America. I want to begin with Norman by stating a very happy birthday to the United States of America. The 250th anniversary has already passed us over the weekend. I want to ask you how you are feeling, especially because we've seen the National Mall area coming attacked by various storm predicaments while Donald Trump has given his campaign style speech to mark the country's 250th anniversary. He said that he would be willing to stay longer if there is no way, if it is necessary, and that there is no way that he can be deterred shortly after taking the stage. I want to also ask that how you're feeling about the massive funeral proceedings we see with the late supreme leader inside Iran. It is set to take place for 7 days, and it will also be traveling towards Najaf and Karbala, two cities in Iraq, neighboring Iraq. A very good morning to you, Norman. I hope you are being able to listen to us. I want to get your remarks on the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. A very good morning to you, Norman.
Greetings from the Washington, D.C. area. The ceremonies for the commemoration of America's 250th anniversary concluded about 2 hours ago. The president spoke early this morning after 11 p.m. our time. He spoke about 45 minutes, and he addressed the issue about patriotism, the United States, and he honored some of the past veterans and paid particularly homage to the Lincoln, the flag, and the United States, and several of our veterans that who are still living from World War II, the Vietnam era, and other parts, other time periods. There was we had a fireworks show last night in Washington, D.C., in addition to Philadelphia, Boston, and the West Coast. Washington, D.C. had what they characterized as the largest fireworks show ever. It was very spectacular. It lasted over 45, almost 50 minutes.
Right.
And it was very dramatic, very impressive. As you know, we having a heat wave here. The mall had 350 to 400,000 people there. They was told midway, because of the weather and the heat, they had to evacuate. So everything was shut down until after about 9 o'clock last night. And only 150,000 people was able to return back after midnight to participate in the rallies. There were 150 people who attended. They got a real show. It was a very impressive show. Talked about patriotism, talked about the United States and how we're going to move forward in the future. The president did a great job by utilizing veterans, people who have impacted the United States. And he used the word us, talked about this is the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, about we the people, all the people, not just a certain group of people, which is very important for him to say that, particularly right now as things are being tested, particularly overseas in the area of between Iran and the Middle East. So that was the event. Like I say, it ended right here. It's 3 or 4 o'clock. It ended about 1 a.m. This morning, and the 150 to 200,000 people are still trying to get back home. So it was a late night event. Everything is quiet for the weekend. The rest of the Sunday, people recovering. Some people go back to work tomorrow. Some people are not. and the situation with uh, the funeral in Tehran. I believe there's over 10 million people attending this week-long event. The President of the United States mentioned that during this period of time, out of respect, he will not have any type of aggression, the United States, any aggression during this 7-day period to allow for the peaceful remains of the fallen leader. So right
Right.
now, as we speak, Israel is still doing what Israel do. They're still attacking the Palestinians under the auspices of Hezbollah area. So basically, the question now is what's the difference between a Palestinian and a Hezbollah member? Because the only thing I'm seeing is Palestinians being killed, Palestinians dying. And the attack is still searching for this elusive Hezbollah fashion. So that is still going on. The world is still moving forward. And Monday will hopefully we get back to the normal chaos of dealing with how do we address peace in the Middle East and also the issue with Russia and Ukraine. That is still on the table. But for the moment, right now, here in the United States, big events, the World Cup is here, uh, getting down to the finals. We have our grand celebration of the United States, 250, reaching 250 years, the anniversary. And that is where we're at right now.
Right. Thanking Norman, very excellent opening to today's discussion. Of course, it was a very organized event that is taking place in all 50 states, not only in National Mall. There in New York, we see Mayor Zoran Mamdani lighting up the Empire State Building after Navy jets soared over the city and tall ships took to its border. America in its 250th year, but still facing various storm issues, storm cycles, as well as heat waves as it hits the mainland United States of America. Coming to the studio with Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain, it is very contrasting to see that a nation like United States is celebrating their birthday 4th of July. In that very time, across the ocean, we see in Iran the 7-day long funeral procession has begun over the weekend as members from Bangladesh political party representatives, various MPs, including the Speaker of our Parliament, has visited its counterpart Mohammad Galibaf, the Iranian Speaker in Tehran. We know that for a fact that this funeral is massive on some various scales, as it is also seen as the Supreme Leader was also seen as the leader of the Shia faith as well. How are you seeing this? We know there are some events of the past that we can look at how Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini's funeral went in 1989. 8 people were crushed to death because of the density of the population. Yes. Observing the funeral back in. This is a history lesson. So I want to ask you how you are seeing this, as we also know that the funeral will be moving to Iraq, the neighboring country as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Norman. Probably the Iranian people had been waiting to see this funeral, and they have chosen a time where US is celebrating their 250th Independence Day in a very massive way. So Iran is demonstrating by this funeral that their resilience as a nation. And Mr. Trump has commented that he can wipe out all the leadership by a single attack, but he is not going to do that because there will be none to negotiate. This is also very unbecoming remark. The offense he has committed against the international norms, against the international law, that he has killed a top leadership of another sovereign country. And that sovereign country, Iran, is showing their resilience and huge people has turned out. As you said that Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, I was witnessing that in the international media. People flocked so much that the dead body of Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini was dig out from the grave, and people had been weeping. Now Mr. Trump is saying that he could not understand why so many people has turned in the funeral and crying.
Even coming to say that some of these tears were fake.
Yeah, some of these tears are coming to say. So he is commenting his own way. Yeah, as per he is a idiosyncratic person. As per his idiosyncrasy, he is making his remarks. But this funeral has shown that the Ayatollah Khomeini was very popular. It is not a person, it is ideals. So that ideal has been continuing, and the mission of America-Israel war has completely failed. What was the mission? To change the regime. The regime has not been changed. Rather, Iran has come out with more strong nationhood, more strengthened. The Tomahawk versus this drone. The warfare has gone to that stage. Tomahawk versus drone.
Right.
And the drone has contained all this Tomahawk, and it has been reported in the international media that the war capability, the missile capability of Iran is 90% intact. So by this war, nothing has been gained, where Mr. Trump has said, first of all, we should not have gone to the war. Then the next question, why did you come? Why did you fall prey, fall trapped by Mr. Netanyahu, who is a war criminal? A warrant order has been issued by the International War Crimes Tribunal. You are protecting, you are harboring, you are nurturing a war criminal. That cannot be the stance of USA. Thereby, you are playing a dubious role. In one side, it is a democratic country, champion of the human rights and rule of law. On the other, you are protecting, harboring a war criminal who is not stopping war anyway. And he is so blatant, he is so arrogant. As Mr. Norman said, he is continuing the attack against Gaza and Lebanon. So America should stop these war criminals, not killing the innocent people, children and women, and not bombing on the school, college, university, and especially in the hospitals. This must be stopped.
Of course, excellent statements coming from Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. Over the weekend, as we see this funeral procession coming to light, there was questions regarding the succession. Will he be attending his family's funeral? I'm talking about Mojtaba Khamenei. He's seen as the interim leader of the nation of Iran. And of course, there were special appearances as well. The IRGC commander Ahmed Vahidi made his first public appearance in regards to the war, as he is the one controlling the IRGC movements. I want to ask Norman a very slight question regarding this issue. How are you seeing the funeral procession? Last time around in 1989, we've seen 8 mourners meeting the end, meeting their fate of dying in such a mass scale funeral event. I have not seen the same type anywhere else on this planet, if not in history. How are you seeing this, as people are still mourning their slain supreme leader even after 3 months have passed? Norman, how are you seeing this funeral?
Yes, I'm seeing this funeral as it represents. Yes, the United States government, I believe, made a fatal flaw by assassinating the leader, supreme leader. It's evident by the turnout, the impact it had on the entire world. We're witnessing basically an idea. You mentioned an idea, not a person, idea. I believe we took the advice of our colleagues from Israel uh, by say we can eliminate, the head of the snake. The rest of the snake will fall. Contrary, it got stronger. It united countries. You're seeing now that this was more than just a assassination of a person. You're dealing with an issue, dealing with an idea. So by assassinating, you basically united all of these countries, all of these groups together against you. You now create a mortal enemy. This is something that we need to really understand what we're doing, the United States, involving ourselves in these type of issues. We have basically opened up a Pandora box. This act is not going to go away. Yes, we have the funeral will be 7 days, and some people believe, okay, he's laid to rest, had a proper going away, proper funeral, proper session. But what it's doing is basically creating a long-lasting generational hatred for what happened and how it went on. Even after the ceasefire, there will still be hostilities. I do not anticipate any type of peace and calm after this for a long period of time. I'm talking generational, long memories. You basically you're trying to kill an idea, and an idea is not going to die by killing a person, taking the person out. It's going to enhance it. So basically, before you had people on the fence. Now they're coming off the fence. You're seeing them coming to the funeral. They coming, they're voicing, and they are not going to accept this type of behavior. So the United States will have to adjust its foreign policy and how it deal with things. And you're seeing the president starting to soften up a little bit about how we attack, how we deal with these things, and the use of military is not going to be a good option unless we can uh, complete the assignment, the mission. There's not going to be a way that we're going to be able to militarily get out of this, use the military to get out of this or create a peaceful environment for the United States and its Western colleagues. That is done because of the choices made to assassinate this world leader. I said world leader.
Right.
This is basically now you have united the world, and I anticipate there will be more response after this period of mourning. There will be a period of response. I do not suspect that this is going to basically go away with the funeral. It's going to basically wake up sleeping giants, wake up other countries, wake up other fashions, and now we will see the true impact of this. It's not going to go away, and people are going to remember, and a generation is going to remember. And so basically, we basically created another mortal enemy, generational enemy, by acts of a few without understanding the culture we're
Right.
dealing with. And now we have to deal with that culture, and it's going to affect how we move forward and how we participate in the new world order. It's unfortunate that it had to go to this point. But basically, we will now see the full impact. Again, I reiterate, once this mourning period is over, you will see a response, and the response is going to be very significant. Uh, we think in terms of military, but I'm talking about the response. The response is basically on the terms of economic impact and what's going on, dealing with people, how we deal with people, how we do commerce, workarounds, alternatives. The
Right.
alternative is going to be the forefront of what move forward now. We're looking at alternative. How do we relate to you and how do we work around without dealing with you? So basically, relationships are changing.
Right. Excellent remarks from Norman Floyd Barnes regarding this ongoing situation. We know that this ceremony had begun last Friday and is still continuing with world leaders coming in, including the Premier of Pakistan, Shehbaz Sharif, as well as a Russian spokesperson, as well Dmitry Medvedev has been seen landing in Iran and, of course, meeting their counterpart, mourning. It is very surprising to also see Saudi Arabian delegation coming to mourn the late Supreme Leader, and in a verse of the Quran that was played in front of the Saudi delegation, reminding of what the naysayers were and how the righteous path has to be moved forward. With that being said, it's time for a short commercial break as we are going to analyze more on the funeral processions. Ladies and gentlemen, do stay tuned on this very program. And welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Panto.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
they will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming you all back on International Affairs. I'm joined with Norman Floyd Barnes from Washington, D.C., as well as Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain here in the studio. I want to ask Barrister Sarwar Hussain some of the comments that are coming from U.S. President Donald Trump. He is stating and has told news agency Axios last Saturday that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has asked him for a meeting at the White House, and it could take place as early as this week. I also want to ask you that he said, and I quote, "We get along very good. Netanyahu knows who the boss is," Trump said in a brief phone interview to the news outlet as well. It's going to coincide with the NATO summit that we see in Turkey on July 7th and 8th. I want to get a remark from you as we move on with our discussion regarding NATO. How are you seeing this as U.S. is stating they have allowed a pause in the negotiations for the funeral to go by, and in the meanwhile we see a grouping or a regrouping of the Israeli administrator Benjamin Netanyahu and the US President Donald Trump. given that there were security concerns in the funeral. This is why the son of the slain Supreme Leader, Mujtaba Khamenei, was not in attendance. It is because that they are suspecting any kind of attack might presumably happen if he was to be in attendance. How are you seeing Donald Trump being so close once again with Netanyahu? They are very hard to predict in what is their achievement, if not their outcomes.
Yeah, there is a great concern about the security of the top leaders of Iran, because Netanyahu is killed and many other top military leadership has been killed. So security to keep alive the top leadership is one of the priority, because America has targeted, American Israel, I mean, the top leadership of the Iran. So Mr. Mujtaba did not attend. The security concern is very genuine. In the meantime, IRGC commander Mr. Ahmed, he has surfaced after a long time since the war began.
Right.
So all the leadership should not come in the surface making a single target. So that is from military point of view, from the security point of view, this is totally normal and this should have been done, because you know that Mr. Trump and the American policy is sometimes very deceitful. When they pick up the leader from which country that?
Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro.
Maduro. When they picked up Maduro, they made a false front that they are going for an operation for combating the drugs.
Narco trafficking.
Right. So in the warfare, it happens. This showing a false attack, false front, then doing something else. So and previously we remember that they gave 2 weeks time to Iran, but in 2 days they have invaded. They have launched attack against Iran. So sometimes by the top leader, the false statement is coming to cover the real plan. So when Mr. Trump says that we can make them all out by single attack, this might be genuine. He has said he may attack. So this security concern is very genuine, and accordingly they have planned that all the leaders should not come in a surface where they may come under the same attack, same assault, same bombing. So this is very genuine, and Mr. Trump is a person who cannot be believed in. His version is always dubious. He says something and another thing is happening. So attacking in a funeral, that will be a devastation that he will calculate. He has said that it's not the attack, but it is the diplomacy which should get the priority.
Right.
So we hope that diplomacy should get priority, but you never know, because their funeral also continuing for 7 days across the border of Iran, also in Najaf, in Karbala. I had the opportunity to visit this Najaf and Karbala while I had been serving as a UN peacekeeper in Unucom in the border of Iraq and Kuwait. So in that tour of duty, I have visited these historical places, Najaf and Karbala. They are very, the Ayatollahs are very popular there, very popular. So they are also performing these rituals and praying for the soul. So Iran, from the Iran point of view, they will do everything necessary to keep alive their top leadership, and they will plan accordingly. And there are intelligence, maybe there are covert arrangement, this unofficial track to diplomacy, that look, let us maintain a status quo, no attack from any side, and it came officially that in this time this peace talk will remain suspended, but neither party will make any attack, neither party will do any acts, hit each other. So this can happen in the diplomacy, in the warfare. You know that there is no rule in the warfare. It is said in the old proverb, there is no law in love and war. So war, he is saying one thing, happening another thing. This can always happen.
Everything is fair in love and war. That's how the quote goes.
Yeah, nothing. So Iran will do everything necessary to protect their leadership, and this is a big funerals. The leaders from across the world. I thought that if America could send a delegation, this could have been a better diplomacy.
Of course.
Yeah, this they could have demonstrated their magnanimity, their greatness. We know from the history, this Salahuddin and Richard in Syria, they fought for years together.
During the Crusades,
Crusade,
back many centuries
during
ago,
Crusade.
right.
And one day, Mr. Richard fall sick. Salahuddin on the other side, being in the fighting mode, Mr. Salahuddin visited Richard to see him, to see his well-being. So America could set this magnanimity. America could set this example. So what we are fighting? We are also in the peace negotiation. We are also taking the diplomacy going ahead. So if they could send a small delegate,
Right.
that could have facilitated the peace talk, that could have facilitated the peace deal. Still there are time. Underhandedly they are doing that.
Right.
They could negotiate through Pakistan or through Turkey. They could do it. That could have been a best gesture, and that could have been the end of the war.
Of course.
So we hope there is still time. They are in the negotiation process, and this war should not recur again. This should not come again. So we hope that no attack on the funerals. If there is any attack in funerals, that will set a very bad example, and that might escalate the war.
Of course.
That should not happen.
Outstanding statements coming from Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain. I want to also add on with Norman Floyd Barnes some of the comments that J.D. Vance has made. I know it is older comments, but it is still very applicable to today's situation we see between U.S., Israel, and of course Iran. J.D. Vance had been very blunt in stating that you cannot kill your way through security concerns. He was very firm when he said that. And I also want to ask Norman how you felt about J.D. Vance, especially as I see a report coming in the New York Times stating that U.S. officials believed Israel was plotting to kill Iranian negotiators Abbas Araghchi, the foreign minister, and Mohammad Ghalibaf, the parliament speaker. And of course, that would have derailed any kind of peace negotiation. Alongside, I also want to ask you how you are seeing the upcoming NATO summit. Norman, I just want to get a recap from you. J.D. Vance's comments that he had made earlier that you can't move away, you can't continue your killing spree into a security concern. It is very actively seen as we discuss today's events as well. Would you agree that J.D. Vance has been very bluntly stating that Israel should use other methods instead of just blatantly using the sword to cut its enemies as it is doing even now? Norman.
Yes, Vice President Vance has expressed his personal feelings, looking at the situation from his position on exactly the situation and the relationship with Israel. From his perspective, he yes, he represents the president, but he do not speak for the president. President Trump authority and power, his impact comes with his being unpredictable. He is not going to tell you what he's doing. He's going to tell you something to have you look left while he does right. So you're not going to get a direct answer from the president regarding exactly his next move. That is his strength, is basically to be unpredictable, come at a time and do things that's not suspected. That gives him his power, his so-called power and of impact of what was happening in the world. So Vice President Vance comes from another mindset. He believes that Israel is obviously is too aggressive. Their tactics is going on, but there must be some type of support from the United States for Israel to act in the manner which they're doing. Israel has a plan, they have a focus, they're doing things. And in the United States, we're talking about peace. At the same time, we are reinforcing and enhancing and encouraging Israel to continue what it's doing. So there's a conversation going on that we don't know about. There's a plan going on which we don't see, but there's a movement to basically continue this war. Yeah, there was a reason why the new leader in Iran didn't come to the meeting, because the intelligence tells that basically there's a hit. There's a possibility that we're going to try to find your location to eliminate you and the rest of your counterparts. It's a war. They're still looking for it. There's no, we're not going to put the pressure down. We're going to, for the public side, we're going to say, hey, we're going to allow you to pray and allow you to take care of your mourning and deal. And we're going to even talk about peace. But at the same time, we're trying to figure out where you at, who are the people running this government, and we're still on our mission to eliminate you. So my belief is basically the plan is to eliminate the parties and to basically control the outcome, the narrative. So as long as they have people in control, and Iran is controlling the narrative right now, the Strait of Hormuz, the United States and Israel is unstable in the terms of dealing with the Middle East. So they have to create a situation where they feel comfortable and stable, and it's not going to be done at the peace table.
Of course. Thanking Norman Floyd Barnes. Excellent remarks regarding this issue of Israel and how it has blatantly crossed its limit, crossed its borders, continues to attack various neighborhoods in southern Lebanon, as well as not allowing the right of Palestinian statehood in various locations in and around Gaza as well. Ladies and gentlemen, do stay tuned for more on this program as we head for a commercial break. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantha.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
really coming to terms with
Welcoming our viewers back onto the very last segment of International Affairs. We were in talks about global geopolitics spanning from the US and its 250th year anniversary celebrations as well as the funeral proceedings we see in Iran. However, it is now time to talk about a war that has been outlasting this very situation in the Middle East. I'm of course talking about Ukraine and Russia. The two sides do not seem to be stopping their viciousness in attacking. Just over the last Thursday, we see a ferocious Russian attack which has killed at least 30 people in the capital, making it the third largest and deadliest assault against the Ukrainian capital since the start of the war. In contrary, we see that Ukraine hits an oil refinery and military facilities near Russia's St. Petersburg in its eastern flank. Russia can be spanning from Europe to all the way in China. So there is the scale of how big Russia is. I want to turn the focus to Barrister Sarwar Hussain. We know for a fact that the NATO summit is going to be taking place 7th and 8th of July in Ankara, Turkey, and much of it is regarding to bring down to a discussion table, to a dialogue table between Ukraine and Russia. The two sides are making strategic gains by targeting various infrastructure, whether it be military or civilian. The loss of life is continuing to grow as this war is not even stopping, even after 4.5 years as it runs on. What are some of your remarks as we come to the end of the program?
There is no sign. And there is no sign of stopping this war. And there is no peace initiative as well. We hear some lip services and some talks, but there is no serious effort as to the stopping of this war. And we find that war is continuing in different front. As Russia is hitting in the capital city of Ukraine, again Ukraine also hitting in other cities like St. Petersburg. So war is escalating there, and though no serious, no international substantive effort is taking place, it could happen in the summit of NATO. Might be there will be some discussion on this issue, and if they come up to actually US has lost their face to contain this war, Ukraine and Russia war, because they have launched a very unjustified war against Iran, and their all focus has come on Iran war, and now they have lost their face. Iran has come out as a victorious nation.
Right.
So this is yet another defeat. This will be a historical defeat of America and Israel together against Iran. Earlier we know that they have lost in Vietnam. They also lost in Afghanistan. From Afghanistan they have to just withdraw in a haphazard way. The plane is taking off, people are running and boarding on the plane. There was a cinematic scenario, right. And the person just can board on the plane, can go to America, others are running. So in Vietnam they have lost. So he has realized that he had a miscalculation to going against Iran, and now he said that we should not have gone. What you have done? You have made a huge burden on the economy, not only in your country, worldwide. The fuel price is surging. This is up and down.
Right.
So this was a very nonsensical war, very unjustified war, and Iran has really right to demand the reparation, the compensation. America not attacking Iran, they should have controlled these war criminals, Netanyahu, who is killing the innocent people, children and women, bombing in the hospital. So how do you land it here? Why did not you make the appreciation? In any military actions, there is something called appreciation. They appreciate many times what is the strength of the enemy, what is their capability, what is the geographical condition, what is the weather condition. These all are taken into consideration. And you thought that you will just succumb to your pressure, succumb to your attack within days or within week. The way Russia said that they will reach to Kiev in 24 hours, and it has gone more than 50 months that you could not do anything.
Right.
So it's not that easy the way you can see, but Trump is a very unpredictable person. Very. What he says, He does not mean that. He has two faces. Many leaders has two faces. They say one thing, but
another.
In reality happens something else. When he says that he will not attack in the funeral, I am sure Iranian has calculated he might attack.
Yeah, but Iranians have used psychologists as well to analyze whatever Donald Trump is thinking of, to study the enemy very clerically. I must thank you, Barrister M. Sarwar Hussain, for your contributions to this very program, for your patience while answering various geopolitical issues from around the world. I must also thank Norman Floyd Barnes for joining in on this very program. Before I finish, there are some honorable mentions I want to give as well. Today is 5th of July. In history, in New York, it was the abolition of slavery in 1827. Of course, today is also the independence of Venezuela from Spain back in 1811, also as the National Armed Forces Day in that nation. And over the weekend, we have seen Cape Verde and Argentina in a neck-to-neck game. I wish the very well for the celebrations for Cape Verde's goalkeeper Vozinha, who was seen as the hero of this time's, as a goalkeeper in this time's World Cup, garnering millions of followers for his outstanding performance at the field. With that being said, I'm signing out on International Affairs. I shall be with you all on tomorrow's episode.